Good morning. It is bright and early today. I got a lot of stuff popping today, so I need to get this in, and I did not want to miss it because last night was a really fun day of baseball. Fun day, fun night. Too bad that Speedway game didn't last more than an inning. It was pouring rain. That must have sucked for everybody, but we did get one inning there. We got to see Chase Burns' slider from a crazy angle, so we're definitely going to cover that. Today's coffee. We got the Mountain Blend. Serene bean from Pincrest, California. This was recommended by my friend Tristan Bess, a teammate from college at Northeastern. And we are off and rolling. We want to switch over to the main screen really quick. And then let's go ahead and refresh the standings as we are here on a Sunday morning, August. I believe it's the 3rd now. Yeah, it's the 2nd, 3rd. Yeah, it's the 3rd. All right. Toronto 4 up on Boston, who's now half game up on the Yankees, who have had 2 losses in Miami in a row following their off day, so they are not looking great at the moment. Detroit 8 up on Cleveland, 9.5 up on Kansas City. Houston 3.5 up on Seattle, 4.5 up on Texas. Texas starting to play a little bit better, 6-4 in their last 10. See if they can get on a roll. Mets winners yesterday, half game up on the Phillies. Milwaukee now 2 games up on the Cubs. And the Dodgers are 3 up on the Padres, who finally lost. They were red hot before losing yesterday to St. Louis. San Fran way back, 9 back now. And in the wild card, if it ended today, it'd be Red Sox, Yankees, and Mariners in the American League with a whole host of teams chasing them, as you can see, all the way down to even the Angels maybe, 5.5 back. Can't fully count them out. In the National League, it would be Cubs, Phillies, Padres. And it's a little bit further back in the NL. The Reds are 3 back, but then the Cardinals are 5.5 back, and it drops to 6 pretty quick after that. So that is the standings for today, and we want to go grab my coffee because I left it next to the coffee machine. So hold on one second. All right, we're back. We're back. We got my coffee. And we're ready to look at a few things in pretty rapid succession today. The first thing is I want to check up on a little bit of this Yankee game yesterday. Yankees and Marlins. This is from 2 days ago, so we need to find the one from yesterday. 2 days ago, I really wanted to do a show. Yesterday, I was in Pennsylvania all day, had no chance to do a show. But that does not mean, that does not mean that we did not see what was going on and we're not ready for today. We got a lot cracking today. Yeah, 7 a.m. episode today. I got things today, so I can't really get it cracking. I can't believe you're awake on the West Coast, Mike. Yeah, Scuba Wheeler was as advertised. Believe it or not, I'm not going to look at the Phillies game at all. I want to look first at this play. With this double play where Jazz kind of misreads it. So let's watch the play in full speed and let's see what happens here. Uriprez on the mound, Goldschmidt up, pops it up in the infield, and Xavier Edwards
coming back onto the dirt.
Snatches it, fires back, and gets him out. Now, at first glance, this is a horrible defensive base running play by Jazz, and it is. But let's see exactly how far off he gets. Here's Jazz right here. He starts to creep a little bit too far forward and just never really gets back. Now, the first base coach got an earful from Aaron Boone after this play. But yeah, this is such a short throw for a second baseman. Not sure why Jazz takes this extra step right here and gets himself into a position where he's really not ready to retreat to first. This is a pretty big distance. This is a pretty big distance there. When the ball's caught, I mean, he's pretty far off the bag. Now, I think what happened here, and we can see it a little bit on the broadcast cam, is that he thinks he was going to drop it. He thinks that they're going to try to do a deke move here and get him off the bases. In fact, there were some good quotes about this after the game on this play, because this was obviously a very controversial play, given how sloppy the Yankees have been, both defensively and base running, the last few weeks. So I'm going to get into the quotes real quick as we as we watch this moment here. And I'm going to show you what he was looking at. So he says, just trying to be aggressive. I was prepared to dash for second if Edwards let the ball drop. I saw something that I thought they were going to do. Edwards deked like he was going to do it, but he didn't do it. And you can see here a little bit of what he's talking about. If we just go in slow motion, watch Edwards. Edwards now, Pete takes a quick peek at first base to see where the runner is while the ball's in the air. So that's indication number one. Then he peeks again. See, another peek. He looks down again with his eyes. So in that moment, because these guys know each other, Jazz thinks he can read Edwards' mind. And he's like, oh, he's going to let it drop. But you're never going to make it anyway here. Even if he drops and flips it to second, you're going to be out pretty easily. So trying to be this aggressive on this play is just misguided in this moment. I get that he felt like he had the right information to try to cheat and get to second and beat this play and outsmart Edwards. But he ended up kind of giving him a layup double play.
He's got it.
It's just very Yankees to do this at this moment. Now, in theory, yes, it would have been a smart play at times to let this ball drop, flip to second, and now you have Goldschmidt on first rather than Jazz. So you have a slower player on first rather than a fast player. And technically, strategically, that might give you a slightly better chance of escaping the inning without a run. But at the same time, it's not that much of a difference. I don't know. Paul Goldschmidt's pretty good at base running. Let me see if I can actually find out a little bit of base running information here because let's see Paul Goldschmidt. Where's base running value this year? Well, he's above average in base running value. He is slow on the sprint speed. He's not what he used to be, but he does get steals. He's got 174 career steals. I don't know if a lot of people knew that about a first baseman, Paul Goldschmidt. 174 on the career steals list. But I'll give it to him. He's not as fast as Jazz. Let's see Jazz here, where Jazz ranks on the old sprint speed. Yeah, Jazz is faster. He's about 2.5 feet per second faster. And, he's generated more base running value. But it's negligible. I think this was kind of a just trying to do too much situation. And honestly, the guys have been trying to do too much. And there's an interesting quote here from Jazz. He says it here, something about pressing. Yeah, low-key. He says low-key that he's been pressing too and trying to make plays and do stuff he doesn't need to do. So even though he was defending his base running pretty hard here, Boone defended him as well. There's no way getting around it. This was just a dumb play and an unnecessary play. And so I wanted to look at that real quick. And also in this game, they were victimized by Agustin Ramirez, who actually they traded for. I mean, they traded to the Marlins not that long ago. And it's just interesting how this guy comes back to bite them. This is the only 2 runs of the game. And let's take a look at Agustin Ramirez's 2 swings off of the Yankee prospect Cam Schlittler. Here's a 3-1 heater. Let's see what he does to it. I mean, just down the middle, but he just demolishes this ball. 111. 111 and a half at 21. It's just an absolute laser beam. And this always feels good, you're coming up in a minor league system, you're always dreaming of doing it with the jersey on, of the organization that you come up with. I was the same way with the Cardinals. I definitely dreamed of being a Cardinal, wearing the birds on the bat, and making an impact and being with one team your whole career. And then you get traded or released, in my case, like waived, got claimed by the Rockies. And, now the relationship with that original team is just weird from then on, but you definitely want to put your best foot forward. Oh, my goodness. This guy rakes. Look at this swing. I mean, he's low down. He's very much in his legs from the beginning, as you can see how bent down he is in his legs. But this allows him to, I think, probably hit the high ball pretty well because he's already kind of preset down there. It's a very subtle load and just a vicious follow through. Granted, this pitch was middle. That's a nice swing. And then let's look at his second homer, also off Cam. This one's going to come on a sweeper on a 1-2 count. This is not a pitch you see hit for a home run very often. Now, this was an impressive hit. This ball's up and away off the corner. Let's see, it's an 89.5 sweeper, so an extremely fast sweeper. It doesn't have a ton of horizontal, only gets 6.5, but still 6.5 at 90 is a lot. And this ball has lift to it with 10 vert, so this ball is kind of like a super cutter, just not. I don't know how he hit this. Look at where this pitch is. Talk about play coverage and extension. Maybe let's watch the whole at bat, see if he's just sitting away the whole time. So it looks like Schlittler goes sinker down, strike, first pitch. Sinker again, in for a take. Four seam. Pitch he got clipped on the first at bat. Ooh, actually in the same, ends up in the same spot as the homer. Look at this ball take off to the left. This fastball is crazy. But then he ends up throwing a sweeper to the same location. I just don't know how he beat this to the spot. Sometimes you gotta tip your cap to a hitter. This is a weird pitch, but this guy's got immense raw power. I mean, both of these home runs are line drives, 21 and 22 degrees respectively. This one's 108, the other one was 111. And he gets a little bit of revenge on the Yankees, and it's awesome to see when guys do this. And they end up winning this game 2-0. Let's watch this swing from first base. Damn, little helicopter on the finish. A la Fred McGriff. Look at that helicopter, Johnson. Whack. But this kid swings hard. This is a nice pickup for the Marlins. And you know, the Marlins really, they've had a much better year than I think people expected. You know, they didn't do anything this offseason except have to hire a new manager because Skip was out of there. They bring in McCullough. They kind of reshuffled the deck, and they did a nice job. But let's see what we got in the chat real quick before we switch gears. A little bit of a shorter show, more than likely today. Jazz Chisholm play was even worse because just 2 days ago, Austin Wells forgot how many outs there were at second. That's true. And that's the thing. It's just like the Yankees don't want us to have this stuff as narratives. And I'm not a big narrative guy either, but like a lot of stuff just keeps happening over and over and over again. So it's hard to ignore it, honestly. And you just want to see clean baseball at a certain point. And I get you're trying to be aggressive, but this wasn't really gonna help you at all. A lot of people praising, well, one guy at least praising the Miami jerseys. I do like those blue ones. They have some cool, I like their red, like Sugar King jersey for their alt jersey as well. Let's see. Yeah, so a lot of people watching their teams this year are kind of fed up with the way that the fundamentals have been handled, and this is one of the old school baseball arguments. But I will say, people have been making dumb mistakes, mental mistakes forever. Let's not act like everybody played perfectly clean baseball for every other generation, you know? All right, now let's just bop over to see my guy hit his 250th home run real quick. The Polar Bear, Pete Alonso. He is now, I believe, 2 homers away from tying Mr. Strawberry as the Mets all-time home run leader, and it's just a matter of time. Really, since he broke into the big leagues, this guy's been just launching balls with just stupid power, easy power. So let's watch this at-bat versus Tang as Pete gets the 250 right here. Halfway to 500. Facing Tang, I've never seen a pitch. First pitch sweeper. Kind of
third in the
blah on the movement. And sweeper away again. No, actually, this is the first inning.
It's not a high ball umpire.
Oh, sweeper, curveball.
And the curveball drops.
I like that. This was a lot bigger of a pitch. This curveball's kind of nasty. 83 with -18 and -10. This is a really snappy pitch. Doesn't have as much spin as I would have expected for that movement, but this is a nice snappy pitch. Anyway, Pete doesn't like it. He's waiting for the fastball. And on 1-2, he doesn't miss it. It's actually an incredible swing. Ball's kind of up and in, well located. Doesn't have a lot of burn on it, which is why he probably gets to it. Only 13.9 on this. And that's a big key because this ball kind of, just doesn't get over the barrel. And he doesn't have a particularly low slot, so this came out very average, very flat. This would be a dead zone style fastball. This is exactly what you don't really want to throw. But this pitch is up and in on Pete. So if this has any real action, whether it's running horizontally or running vertically, he's probably not getting the barrel to it. But look at him just pull the hands in. He's freaking donkey strong. 109.4, 27. For homer number 250.
Of the inning for Tang.
I love Pete with the glasses on in the day game. He always wears the big goggles. I used to make fun of him when I wasn't on his team, and then on his team I realized it's just Pete. It's kind of his style. So. Let's see Pete from the side. I mean, when you have this kind of juice, it's always going to be a simple stroke. And he's done a good job this year of creating himself better separation. As the leg goes forward, watch as this goes forward, these are going to go back. The hands are going to go back. Leg forward, hands back. Leg forward, hands back. And if you watch Pete, he's always drilling this in, this move right here. It's a simple move, but it creates that separation. And if you don't realize Pete, he's not just a big, strong guy. He's also an incredibly mobile guy and a great athlete with unbelievable flexibility and ability to tap into unique positions at the plate. But right here, he gets a nice stretch, and he just beats him to the spot at the top of the zone. And that's number 250 for the Polar Bear. So congrats to him on that. You know what? Let's take a quick peek at the Polar Bear's career to this point, because it's kind of ridiculous how fast he's hit all these homers. Oh, we're definitely not looking at that, Alonso. That guy, we are not checking him out. He's long gone. Okay, Pete Alonso. 250 dingers. They don't have it updated for today, so we'll just pretend. But if you look at the home run category for his career, very few people, it's like Mark McGwire-esque, very few people for their career have really hit home runs at this clip. 53 as a rookie, then 16 in the shortened season, then 37, 40, 46, 34 in what was considered a down year last year, 34 homers. And then this year he's already at, I guess, 24. So he'll probably get to another 35, 40 again. So really it's just a matter of staying on the field. If Pete plays till he's 37, 38, he'll get to 500 dingers, no problem. Let's see, he's played, this is his 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th season. So it took him 7 years, not even, to get to 250. Figure another 7, that'd be 37. And if he slows down a little bit, okay, yeah, maybe 38 years old, 38, 39 years old, he would get to 500 homers. So he's just got to stay on the field. Pete's actually really good at that. If you look at his games played, 162 last year, played every damn game, which to me is one of the most impressive stats in baseball if you can play every game. I used to hate on Cal Ripken, but now I think he's a god. 154 2023, 160 2022. So Pete's in there. Pete's in the games all the time. He even played 161 his rookie year, so you got to give Pete credit for that. And I just wanted to touch on that really quick. And then we had two guys that I want to watch really quick. We had Mad Max pitch. So we have an old timer and my friend Max Scherzer, who threw yesterday versus the Royals. Let's see. Toronto Blue Jays, Kansas City Royals. And Mad Max is starting to find his groove a little bit. So let's speed watch this Mad Max outing. And I'll give you a little insight to Max as we go for anything I might see. So it starts off not great, and when Max gets in trouble with the slider, it's usually a location problem. His slider is what we call a gyro slider, a bullet slider. And honestly, it's a very location-dependent pitch, and Max is usually really good at keeping it all down here or away from the hitter. Obviously, this ball pops middle in. India's able to dunk it into left for the leadoff hit. Now Bobby Witt, let's see how he gets him. Looks like a slider. Let's see the location. Does he get it down and away? No, he actually pops it in again, but this time it handcuffs Bobby. Obviously, you're not going to get Bobby. He's too fast. But this is twice in a row now. I've seen two-strike slider from Max early. Two straight sliders where he's been late with the hand. So, early trouble. Let's see how he makes the adjustment. He's one of the best in the world at making quick adjustments. And now he's got one out. We're going to go after the Pasquatch. Little backdoor curveball. Gets him to put it in play to center. No muss, no fuss. Little out. Miles Straw out there. What the heck? Now we have Michael Garcia. Is he going to end his first with a heater? Max's heater gets on you. He's got the low slot. He actually throws a lot more cross body than people realize. His heater always has good spin. It has decent vert, especially for his angle. So even at the bottom of the zone, you know, he hits this ball decent, but he's a little beat, and that's why he pops out. All right, second inning, Salvi. These guys have faced each other quite a bit, I would imagine. See if he gets the slider away this time. There we go. That's what you're more accustomed to seeing out of Max. Gets the easy pop-up, but it's this type of execution. Slider, look at that, comes out right in the middle of the zone. Gets off the plate. 2 strikes. Beautiful chase pitch, make you guys swing at a bad pitch. So, all right, so now we start to adjust the slider location and see how good he is with that the rest of the way, because that's such a huge pitch for him to get outs. Oh, good morning, my love. All right, Adam Frazier.
On deck hitters or
Another out with a slider, lefty. Let's see the location. 2-2. Looks like they're trying to go back foot.
Popped up.
Tries to go back foot, doesn't quite get it there. Actually, this was a dangerous pitch, although probably less dangerous given Adam Frazier's lack of power. But this ball ends up in the danger zone. He actually gets under this ball, so this is a lucky batted ball out for Max. So far his team's actually more lucky than good, if I'm being honest, watching so far. And let's see how that changes as we go into the third. This is Max's first punchy. Get some looking with the curveball. Wonder how we set him up here. Let's see if he gets to... Well, here's the 2-1. Let's see where the 2-1 is. Is it probably a heater up? Heater, middle. I'm surprised that Rove didn't swing at this 3-2. Let's see where this 3-2 curveball pops. All right, so it does pop above the zone. So at this point, he just thinks, okay, this ball's high. I'm gonna let it go. I mean, literally the ball's on the rise at this point, and then it just plops back in the zone. So nice pitch. There's the first call, strike 3, and the first strikeout in general. All right, here's a double. Kyle Isbell. Let's see what he hits. Slider. Again, he's been not great with the slider location so far. This is more of the same. This ball doesn't really slide. This ball kind of backed up to the down and away quadrant. This is not a Max Scherzer slider at all. Oh boy. How did I just do that? All right, we're back. Anyway, you can see here on the slider, this ball actually comes out and just stays away. Never really slides. So slider not effective to this point. So I'm a little surprised. I thought Max was going to look really, really sharp in this game, but honestly, he doesn't so far. A little hit by pitch there. So we're going to have first and second one out. India holding that hand. Once again, I don't know how this doesn't happen every game. As you can see, the hitter's diving in, starting to fire the hands before he realizes it's going to ride up in on him. Oh, Mike, did this get him on the hand? I think this got him on the forearm. Oh no, that's hand. That's wrist. That hurt. That hurt like a son of a gun. All right, so first and second. Still not looking great, and now he's got to bear down, but Max is the best maybe ever at bearing down. So here's Bobby Witt. He's going to get a 3-pitch punch. So let's see the finish, and we'll watch the whole at bat. First and third, one out. Yeah, perfect location. It all comes down to location. It really does. Four-seam fastball. Bobby was ready to hit. That was the pitch. So he gave him the pitch on the first one. Now let's see where he moves the fastball with the 0-1 count. A little bit higher. He also upticked. He went from 93.2 to 94.8 on the second pitch. So a faster, harder pitch with more vertical location in the strike zone. Gets the foul ball. As you can see, Bobby's got an extremely level swing. So he sets him up with 2 fastballs, and then he throws a fastball in the zone that then drops below the zone and gets the chase. Beautiful execution. Yep, look at this ball pop. It's right in the middle of the strike zone right here. And it's going to get to the kill zone. Now that's more what I expect to see out of Max. That's beautiful location, and he needed to, and when he needed to, he stepped it up there. So that's a first and third punchy. Then he's going to get Vinny out to end the third on a curveball. Let's see if he's good or lucky here.
Line drive to right.
I think it's pretty good. Pitch selection, he doesn't hit it hard. I think backdoor spin's good to Vinny, especially up and away. Only 78. He is fortunate this ball goes to him. So we'll give kind of a little bit of credit, a little bit of luck there. We go to the fourth. Michael Garcia. Slider, let's see if Max gets the location better. No, popped it again. Honestly, lucky this wasn't a homer. So this is what's fun about this show relative to other shows. You can read the box score, and you can get an idea, like I did even before I started watching this game, of how a guy pitched. Then you can go watch the reality. You can see a guy got a little lucky here. Some of these pitches were really poorly executed and not Scherzer-esque. So with one out in the fourth, he's been more lucky than good to this point. He's had a couple good moments, but more lucky than good to this point. Let's see that. Now that's a good pitch. A little Jam Johnson. Really, if Bo gets rid of this ball, he's probably going to get Salvi because Salvi's not fast. Let's see where he was when he catches this. All right, there's Glove. He's not even out of the box yet. All he's got to do is set his feet and throw a bounce shot to first, and he probably gets him, but he loses it in the transfer. And so Salvi reaches. And now we got Yastrzemski. Here's a strikeout. Ooh, four-seam.
Fourth inning.
High target
Swing and a miss. On
and
an
high
elevated
execution. When Max gets his heater going uphill, it's one of the best probably in the history of the game. Look at this ball. Look at that rise effect. They would call this an elevator ball. Going up, and your doors are blown. Frazier line out. Let's see what it is here. Heater. Up in location. Oh, jams him. So now we're getting into the he's looking good category. Now he's starting to execute some pitches. The fastball command's coming back a little bit. The slider command below the zone has cleaned up, and the curveball backdoor command is there. So when Max gets his command rolling, that's when you're in trouble because he's one of the best at picking what to throw. He's so good at it that I can't even think along with him, even though I know how he thinks. That's how in the weeds he is and how good he is at kind of reading the situation. He's got a pitch for everything. So Max always has an answer. All right, so that was the line out. We go to the fifth. John Rove grounds out. Oh, here's the first out of the game on a changeup. Perfect location, down and away. Max is one of those pitchers that doesn't do a seam shifted changeup. He does. He completely turns the ball over, a la Devin Williams. So he's throwing pitches both ways. And a lot of times say, oh, guy's a supinator or he's a pronator. Max is like, I do both. Don't limit me. Anyway, he throws that changeup and rolls it over. I know we have a question in the chat, which I'll get to as soon as we get through this game. Kyle Isbell, double on a fastball.
Now, the way that he looks.
See the location on this. He wants it up and away, kind of throws it kind of medium height where Isbell can do something with it. 99 to the gap, so there's a double. Let's see how he gets out of
41
this.
years old.
Nick Lofton pinch hitting.
Another weird slider that popped in. Good play by Max. Max is a good, he fields his position well. He's a great athlete, especially for 40, the old dog. But another ball that just pops in. Like, this is not the intent on the slider, but he's gotten 2 outs on pitches like this where he kind of handcuffs a guy. Just imagine as a hitter, you see a ball pop in the location, you're like, I'm going to smash this pitch. And then you go to fire and it just kind of stays in on you. Sometimes hitting's just not fair. It sucks. Pitcher gets away with something that he didn't even mean to do. So now we got Bobby Witt with 2 outs in the scoring position. Let's see how he finishes the deal here. Another slider that he leaves in a bad location. He gets away with it. So again, like, there's been some good pitching in here. There's also been some good fortune in here. And 6th inning is his final inning. Let's see if how he looks here. All right, so the changeups have been very well located that he's gotten these outs on. This is a perfect changeup running away from Vinny. He's gotten Vinny on all slow stuff away from him today. 2 backdoor curveballs and now a changeup running away from him with excellent location. As you can see, Vinny's way gone into rollover mode. For some reason in pull mode. I feel like he's more of a contact type hitter, but he gets him into a pull here. He's way early. Yep, and just a little easy ground out. Now Michael Garcia.
How far to your right it's hit?
Fastball. Oh, I got a down and away target. Leaks it over the middle a little bit. Garcia has had 2 balls that he's given a ride, and if he hit it just a tiny bit different, he might have had 2 homers in this game. He's just missed 2 balls. This was 103, but hit it to the one part of the Rogers Center that isn't deep for an easy out. Now he's going to give up his only run of the game. Let's see if it's see the mistake to Salvi. Oh, it's another breaking ball that he leaves arm side. It's not even a strike. Salvi waits on it. He's a very good slow ball hitter, Salvi Perez. And he just kind of sits on this, stays on his back leg, and demolishes it. This is how you wait on a ball. This is how you wait on a ball. Hit it? Yeah, there's a little delay there before he snaps it through. So look, he gets in his load. It's a simple load. Another guy with a simple load. Again, he can do it because he's huge. Little bit of a leg kick and like almost like a crunch, like a core crunch. And then he gets here, he gets on his front foot and kind of rides it out. Ready to swing here, but has to delay because the pitch is slow. Rides it out and then snaps through. Snap. 99-9, 33 to left, right down the line. It's always going to be a homer. So that's the only run there. And then Max comes through here with a called strike 3 to Yaz on the backdoor slider. Not sure if he meant to do that or not, but another arm side slider. This one works to his benefit for a called strike 3. So again, you know, watching the old boy, my buddy Mad Max in this game, I feel like he was more lucky than good, honestly. Obviously, there's not a ton of walks. He gave himself a good shot, and, you know, hitting's hard. He did get benefit from some backup breaking balls. He had one stretch in the middle where he really located some fastballs well and some changeups. So we'll keep looking at Max. The Blue Jays are in first. They're going to be riding a lot on their starters the rest of the way between Gausman and Berrios and Max and Bassett. So Max is the guy, though, with the big upside. He's done it. He's the Hall of Famer. And I think his velo looked good in this game. If I had any type of takeaway on the positive side, 93, getting up to 95, 96 at times. Really, really good sign. Because if you give him a 94, 95 mile an hour fastball, he's going to be great. All right, in the chat, really quick. Where's the line for a vet like Max when you know a pitch like a slider is getting more outs from being lucky than the entire game? See, Max is so good at self-evaluation. Max is not going to sit here after this game and say, "Oh, I threw great with my slider location." He's very honest with himself, and he's going to spend the whole next week working on that slider location. That's one of the things that separates him. He's not a delusional pitcher. He's very grounded in reality and what makes him good. And he knows it's all about location. He got away with some of that this year. Will he take the outs? Yes. Will he be upset with himself? No, but he'll definitely take the information. He'll use it. He'll get better. And I bet that slider location will be a lot better in his next start. So we'll keep an eye on that. Now, speaking of sliders, there wasn't much of this game yesterday, but we had a really, really good view of it. And it's Chase Burns, the rookie, who's been striking out the world. He does have a 6 ERA. But at the same time, the amount of strikeouts is incredible. Coming into yesterday's game, 45 strikeouts and 27 in a third. So that's reliever numbers. That's dominant reliever numbers. That's a 35.7% K rate. And, he's gotten hit hard, and he's going to have to clean up his batted ball, his batted ball data. He's going to have to figure out how to, make his contact a little better as we keep going in this career and in this season. But in terms of getting punchies, a big part of it is the fact that, he throws 100. He's literally averaging 98.3 on the heater. But really, it's this slider, and I think this slider's special. So let's just watch the slider a little bit, because we had a really nice view of it from this Speedway game yesterday. It's only 3 batters, so we might as well watch them all. With Burns, it's a screaming 99 that you have no choice but to get on time for. It's going to catch your attention right away.
4 hitters on the average side.
See, there's the heater. He gets you on time for that heater, and then the sliders just start coming. Here's the first one. This one actually doesn't get to a great location, but you can already see the drop. It's a heavy drop, and here's the metric on it. -2.5 horizontal, so it's a little bit to the left, but 5.8 on the break, so it's headed downward, especially from his arm angle. Look how high the Iron Mike arm is here. I mean, he has to clear the torso out of the way to get to this vertical arm location. So anything that he throws up here is just going to look like it's plummeting straight down. And this is the hittable one, but still 92 miles an hour with that break. And then you look at the foot away. This is 93. Oof. This looks like a heater the whole way. From his release, you think it's a heater till about there. So it's still in the zone, and it's so fast that you don't have enough time to really react. And then look at this ball just drop and run, and he completely makes Profar bend the knee. This is nasty. This is as nasty as it gets. This is a pure slammer at 93 miles an hour. If I could design a slider in a lab, this might be the one. This thing is so gross. This is going to generate so much strikeouts for him. Like I said, he can figure out how to control his contact. This guy might be an ace. I mean, this slider is a special, special pitch. Watch it again. Oh, and he's got some style with it. So let's watch the second batter, Matt Olson. 99 up and away. Slider. Vicious, but in the ground. Here's 100. So again, you got to be on time for the heater. You can't really look for this slider. Homeboy's throwing 100. Here's a 2-1. Oh, 2-1 hitters count. Matt Olson, one of the best hitters in the league, looking to do damage. And look at this ball drop. Comes out. It's actually in the upper part of the strike zone. Let's just take a little tab on where this ball starts and where this ball finishes. In the ground. This is a nose-to-toes breaking ball at 91 miles an hour. Absurd. Absurd pitch. And he threw it behind the count. He's going to double up looking for the punch. I don't know how you take that. That is an absurdly nasty pitch. This is also a great metric. Negative 4.1 vert is a hammer at, at 91 miles an hour, and it's breaking left. This ball's just moving so much, so fast, and up down is the hardest place to hit. Like if you're trying to swing horizontally a thing that's dropping like a rock, like how'd you get to it? Anyway, that's nasty. 3-2. He's gonna try to go heat. This is 101, folks.
Payoff. Fouled off.
So got to be on time for the 101 and then try not to swing at the slider.
They got him from the A's. He has
Man, it was raining. I felt bad for everybody involved in this. Wilson actually with a pretty good swing here on a fastball that kind of cut a little bit on him. But this ball was going nowhere over at Bristol Speedway last night. And then we'll watch his last batter because there's some sliders in here as well. Austin Riley. This is the first righty we watch him pitch. Right at him with the heater.
They loaded up and
Here's 101.
the Reds
Foul ball.
just a little bit more than they have. They got a fighting chance.
101 up again.
Been the other way. It's the opposite. They don't have a ton of slug.
There's a slider at 95. I know it says four seam, but this has got to be a slider. I mean, the fastballs, he just missed. He just came out weird. But all the fastballs were
And started over the middle
a
of the
lot
right
faster than that.
pitch.
So that had to be a misfire. Maybe a cutter? I don't know what that pitch was. There's another vicious slider. Oh, my son is here. Arch, do you want to come say hi? Wow, they don't even have the last pitch. Come here, buddy. I got the boy with me. All right, so it's a foul ball. They actually don't have the 3-2, but you can see even here. I just want to really highlight the slider. I'm jealous of this pitch. This is an absolute hammer. Woo! So we got to keep tabs on Mr. Chase Burns as we go because this guy's filth. Anyway, that was really it from the Speedway game. It was pouring. I felt really bad for this guy Cox pitching in this game. It was pissing rain. Look at this rain. Ugh. So, it's raining so hard that Strider didn't pitch. So now they send this guy out to be the sacrificial lamb. They're like, go out there in this lake and pitch. All right, we got a question in the chat for me real quick. Dumb question, but how unusual is an arm angle like Burns? Well, we can tell you exactly. Let's go to Chase Burns. He is at 52-degree arm angle. If we go to the leaderboards by arm angle. Archie, what do you think, man? You want to throw uphill, downhill, underhand, sidearm? What's your style? So what did we say he was? He was 53 degrees. We go to the very top. There's a couple guys above that, but not a ton from the right side. He would slot in right here at the same as this guy, Jansen Junk, Will Vest, and Leisure. So there's a handful of guys, about 15 guys that are above him that are even higher. But 53 is pretty dang high. So it's an over-the-top delivery, and that's what allows him to create extreme up-down action, especially on that slider. So pretty rare, especially for a starter. A lot of these guys are relievers. Hunter Brown's another one who's dominating with a really high arm angle. Him and Pavetta, they're just a touch higher than Burns, 56, 57. But that's a good question from the chat. Like we talked about with Rogers the other day and with Helsley, anytime you can be on one end of the spectrum or the other, like really high or really low, being a little abnormal, that's going to help. All right. We are about to wrap this show up. There is not a lot going on. I want to take a closer look at Trevor's story, and I might do that in a recorded video later because my friend Story is red hot right now for the Red Sox. But let's go check the probable pitchers for this Sunday. Great matchup in Boston. Framber and Giolito. Very much looking forward to this matchup. Obviously, two different styles, but two studs. Yoshinobu Yamamoto at Steinbrenner Field. Interesting. He's got the day game. Japanese guys are used to pitching in the summer because the Japanese summer is a lot hotter than American summer. I don't know if you guys knew that. And then Joe Boyle, nasty, looking to find his footing, going against the Dodgers today in the heat in Tampa. Austin Cox and Chase Burns. These guys are not going to pitch. This is just who was pitching when the rain happened, so we'll see how these teams handle it. And hopefully they can get that Bristol Motor Speedway game in today because that looked like really, really cool. Really, really cool. Mizorowski against the Nationals and Brad Lord. So Mizorowski, so we're going to have to check in on that without even a question. Seth Lugo and Chris Bassett, former teammates, both mad scientists. This might be the matchup of two guys with the most pitches in the league. Combined, these guys might have like 30 pitch types. Carson Whisenhunt making his big league debut versus the Mets at Citi Field, so we're going to watch that. Whisenhunt's a big prospect for the Giants. Jose Urania and Joey Cantillo. Minnesota Twins, Cleveland Guardians. We got to do a little drop-off of the baby to the wife. Here you go. And then Luis Gil making his debut for the Yankees, going against Edward Cabrera, who's been really good for the Marlins, so that's going to be fun. And then Brandon Young, Colin Ray, Orioles, Cubs, Mitch Keller, Bradley Blaylock, Eduardo Rodriguez, Jack Perkins, Sean Burke, Josh Kashanowitz, and some young guy matchup, Andre Palante, Dylan Cease in San Diego at Petco. And then we got the GOAT, Jacob deGrom, going against the Mariners. Logan Evans, deGrom's looking to bounce back. He actually got hit a little bit. This is the second start for Whisenhunt. I am sorry about that in the Giants. Guess I missed the first one, so that's on me. I should be better than that. Charlie Morton making his Tiger debut versus Christopher Sanchez, who's been electric for the Phillies. So some good matchups. I definitely am keying in on... I want to watch Whisenhunt pitch because I haven't seen him. And obviously I always watch the Mets, so Frankie Montas. And then this Lugo-Bassett matchup, if you're into pitching, is really fun. We have to check in on Mizorowski, of course. We're going to check in on Speedway Game. Yamamoto. Man, there's so many guys to catch up on. So I have a lot of baseball to watch, and I hope you guys do too. This should be a really fun Sunday, August 3rd, as we head into the dog days of summer. And I know there wasn't a lot of people up this early with me, but I do appreciate the few people that were here with me today. Like I said, I'm going to try to record a video on Trevor's story where I dig into him maybe later tonight, and I'll post that as a standalone. Maybe I'll hop on for a short stream. Baseball and wine? Is that a baseball and coffee? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what the day brings. But I really appreciate everybody hanging with me today. The people that did. It's very early. But we touched on some cool stuff. That Jazz play was crazy. Yankees continue to be sloppy. I'd like to see how they come out today. Luis Gil needs to kind of put the hammer down in his first game back. It's ironic that he has actually a little bit of pressure on him. But the Yankees need to get back in the win column and get going, as do a lot of teams, because this is where the standings start to really pick up. We start doing a lot of scoreboard watching this time of the year. Actually, to me, that's very fun. I used to do it during the game all the time while I was on said iPad, just looking around the league, seeing what was going on during our games, and then obviously focused on our game. But now I'm not playing, so I have the ability to watch a lot of this, so that's really exciting. And I hope you guys have a great Sunday. So have a nice day on Baseball and Coffee.